In response to threats of disruptions to services from union bodies, the National Security Advisory Council has moved to counter them. It has established a joint task force headed by Police Commissioner Gary Baki to deal directly with the threats. Chief Secretary Ambassador Isaac Lupari announced today the measures, as Mark Kayok reports.
The country has been besieged with threats over the last few days. Threats came from various union bodies, both the private and public sector. The civil society and NGO groups, among others, have thrown their support, threatening to disrupt essential services. All threats were in relation to calls made to the Prime Minister Peter O'Neill to step down and allow police to investigate allegations against him. This has prompted the National Security Advisory Council to convene, seeking alternate options to put a stop to all this. After lengthy analytic discussions and deliberation on the matter, NSAC has resolved to establish an internal joint task force to deal directly with all threats.
The committee has now resolved to establish a national joint security task force under the police. And this task force will be dealing with all sorts of threats to our national security.
Threats towards disruption of public properties, key economic and social infrastructures, and essential services have become a growing trend over the years. Nothing or little has been done to prevent people from taking the law into their own hands. Those executing the threats and inciting violence and social disorder were fortunate to roam freely without being prosecuted. This will be a thing of the past.
Any person that takes the law into their hands and issue threats to lives of Papua New Guineans, safety of our citizens, incite public violence, incite civil disorder, be warned that you will be caught and you will be dealt by the laws of this country.
It may sound as a warning, but the people were urged to express their rights and freedom of expression within the confinements of our laws.
As I said, it will come under the control and command of the police commissioner. They'll be tasked to carry out the investigation of any threats from now on. They'll deal with those people who issue those kind of threats inside public violence.
The government foresee that these threats to our national security is becoming entrenched to our culture, and it needs to build capability to mitigate those threats now and into the future. The task force will come under the command of the Police Commissioner Gary Baki. It will be supported by the Defence Force and other key government departments. The task force will require a collaborative effort from all government officials stationed in respective provinces across the country.
If it's involved in provinces, we will do a lot of collaborations with the provincial administrators and government officials as well too. This is not only for NCD. We're looking outside of NCD as well.
Police and Defence Force will sign documents signifying support through call-out of Army personnel should need arises.
As part of that, today I will be initiating documents for the Defence Force call-out so that the deployment of the Defence Force to assist the police in the task force is legal. It's binding in the call-out provisions. So that's what I will be doing today, together in consultation with the Commander of Defence Force and the Commissioner of the Correctional Services.
Defence Force stands ready and is committed to supply manpower and necessary resources.
It is our desire that people of Papua New Guinea, our citizens, the international community, including our investors, conduct their activities without being interrupted, without being interfered with. So in support of the police, we will provide manpower and any other resources that is required to carry out this internal security task force responsibility.
The Department of Personnel Management and Foreign Affairs are among other key departments to ensure success of the National Joint Task Force. Public service unions are encouraged to support the move and remain loyal to their work.
But I want to call on the public sector unions, in the energy workers and the other public sector unions to please make sure that you conduct yourself within the rules of your engagement. That is Industrial Organizations Act and the Industrial Relations Act.
It is incumbent upon us to always find out whether there are external linkages, working in collaboration with people who may be making those kinds of threats against the state of Papua New Guinea.
Key message in the formation of the task force is to create a law-abiding community that saves lives and protects key government properties and services.
Mark Kayok reporting there. It was far from a normal day at Jackson's domestic terminal in Port Moresby. There were some angry scenes from frustrated passengers over cancellation of flights. Authorities attributed the situation to a number of reasons. Gregory Avira reports.
Some passengers were at the airport as early as 3 a.m., while for others the wait for their flight started yesterday. The cancellation of Air Niugini domestic flights have continued into its third day, leaving many passengers stranded at the airport. The domestic terminal was crowded with frustrated passengers following the cancellation of flights. Passengers were advised that the cancellations were due to operational matters. Air Niugini had given assurance that the proposed strike by pilots would not affect its operations. Despite this assurance, most flights today were cancelled.
Strike come up, national pilot will strike. Now you look here inside there, I'm all white man, so all white man as well all walk long. Only running all balus now, and then plenty of balus now, all short distance only go. Now long distance like Buka. I'm not now.
Chief Secretary to Government Ambassador Isaac Lupari, when queried about this matter, said he had spoken to Air Niugini Chairman Sir Frederick Rea and was told that there were various reasons for the flight disruptions.
That's a result of a combination of number of factors. Some of the aircrafts had technical problem. So that's one factor. The other one is some of the pilots have reported that they were ill, they were sick. So he's assured me that and the government that normal servicing will resume. Those who are sick, replacement will be fined, and those aircrafts that have technical problems, the engineers are attending to them as of last night. So hopefully, normal service according to the schedule will commence today.
While some passengers chose to return home, many stayed back in the hope of their flight being recalled. The long wait caused great tension for passengers, resulting in arguments with airline staff who did their best to contain the situation.
We were down here at the airport since 3 o'clock in the morning and we're still waiting to be confirmed. Most passengers, when the ground officials announced that the flights were cancelled, a lot of people were really frustrated. They, in fact, shouted upon the officers because, they gave a lot of reasons saying there was a lot of technical problems when, in fact, we all knew that it wasn't technical, faults.
The flight disruptions have caused great inconvenience for the traveling public. For some, the flight disruptions has affected their duties.
Yeah, I was scheduled to take a prisoner to Manus this morning around 8:30, but unfortunately, Air Niugini staff told me that due to
operational requirement. They cannot, all any flights are now cancelled.